Welcome back, 5 Aces.
Battle control initialized.
Hey people, 5 Aces here. Welcome back to RA Jail. It's been a hot minute. Took me around a week to get back to casting, but we're back in the fire with honestly something of an older replay, but this one is promising to be a good time anyway. Because we've got two players going into each other who have the very distinct styles. In the bottom right, spawning as some sort of pinkish, a very sexy color. It is Mr. Kav, basically the winner of RHL season previous. Insert the previous number, I think it was 13. And he is tangoing with Mr. Mo, who unfortunately has hard countered himself by not picking a naval map. I don't know why he would do that. But he's up against a Grand Rush from Kav, who is spawned as the Russians. By the way, quick disclaimer, as the Grenadiers are being caught, immediately being routed. They're faster than the regular rifles though, because they only need to lob around like 40 kilograms of explosives, so that's fine. They're fast. I think Mo's gonna just leave some rifle scouts behind. Yep. Doesn't want to be caught off guard. But anyway, I'm gonna refrain from making any Russia jokes for now, because of the... Oh god, I was about to make a command and conquer joke anyway. There's a very unstable situation on the ground that is unfolding very quickly, if you're catching my reference. But yeah, there is unfortunately the entire Grupa Wagner thing going on. They have basically, gone rogue, gone haywire. Grenadiers are tackling something, must be. Yeah, that's the old Eric. That was a really nice diversion. I don't think he's gonna be able to get it. Needs 2 more grenades. No. Oh, it was so close. And by the way, the explosions have been buffed. So the oil derrick explosion would probably have wiped out half the squad. Down go the Grenadiers. So pretty solid early game defense for Mo. Didn't lose anything to the Grand Rush. Yeah. If you're watching this a couple days in the future, yeah. It's basically Russia. My heart goes out to everybody who is trying not to get involved in this conflict, and obviously to all the Ukrainians, but also to all the Russians who are trying not to participate in this fight, because right now the fight is being taken to them, with Russia descending into somewhat of a civil war, at least the potential civil war is given. It's really tragic, so I'm not going to make any jokes here. This is Admiral Mo, trying to go for some aggressive play, but being absolutely routed by Kav, who has just left his firing squad back at home. And he's just gone for road trucks. He didn't go for a light vehicle, decided to skip that entirely. So does Mo. Both are on 3 harvesters now, but no, 4th harvester's already online here, so a bit of a bad timing for Mo. 4th is now online. Kav is a flame tower ready just as a precautionary measure. There is going to be 1 APC, so there is going to be a light vehicle after all. I mean, not that the APC is a traditional light vehicle in that sense, but it's a tier 0 vehicle, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, on the RTS front, things are looking a bit brighter. Has anybody heard of Stormgate? That appears to be an interesting... Why? Why would you get this close to the derrick? You know about the buffed explosion. Didn't sound good, yeah. Didn't look good either. Just leaving a couple of scorch marks. Yeah, has anybody seen Stormgate? Looks to be a really interesting game. RTS of the old school variety. Oh, now he's hotkeyed them. Okay, so Kav has got a rocket APC. That's a pretty cool gambit. Can work really nicely if you hit an expansion timing and your opponent is basically busy fortifying their front lines, and they just drop an APC full of 5 rockets into the back lines and kill 1 or 2 harvesters. And even if they die afterwards, they're gonna be able to set the economy back so far that the opponent basically needs just to play catch up rather than trying to get a hit. So out goes the MCV. The army values should be slightly in favor of Kav, as assets are actually ahead for Mo. Yeah, Mo is ahead in the army department as well. Mo, my friend, you're out-macroing Kav thus far. That is a very rare occurrence. And out goes the MCV for Cav as well. He's now taking his first expansion. He's starting to spam off of 3 racks for now. Heavy tank, just a little scuffle with the harvester. But Cav has always been known to find some really, really good flanks. He is nothing if not the master of flanks, and the master of all-in-one army pushes as well. He can do both styles. Only 3 rockets remaining here. Where are the other 2? Did he randomly lose them? Cav is going incredibly aggressive already. Jeez. Oh, that's not looking good. Oh, if he can clamp down on that base, that's going to be so hard for Mo to expand. Okay, inching the way forward, but there is line of sight still for Mo. We're hearing a flank tank. Where is it? Can't spot it for now. Okay, Mo's still in a good position. Oh, he's mixed in a medic as well. Cav is not in the best of fighting shapes, and I love the mechanic just topping off the tank as soon as it takes damage. 1 medic, 1 mechanic, and the rest being a bio army. In StarCraft terms. Damn it, I'm back to StarCraft. Because it is I've been watching Stormgate previews, and they draw a lot of parallels and comparisons to StarCraft, as well as the developers have openly admitted that they themselves drew a lot of inspiration from StarCraft 2, so it's not just coincidentally. Cav thus far has not had a good engagement. Trying to find an angle. This is single file formation though, and the front lines are tougher for Cav. He's got 3 heavy vehicles. Ooh, nasty. Tank does not connect thus far. Oh, so close. He was so close to recovering the house. And at the end of the day, yeah, Cav just doing Cav things and running over Mo with an avalanche of steel. Because he had his army in a compact formation, whereas there was just half the army sitting by idly for Mo. Concentration of forces is the name of the game. Mo is retreating behind his defensive lines. There is a Tesla coil. Hell yeah. A breach is imminent. It's looking a bit tough. Not a very defensible position. Mo is trying to aggress on the right-hand side. He does, however, not have front lines. And he's about to have a very bad day. I mean, to be fair, the infantry lines have been thinned out considerably. Oh no, tanks are running into the Tesla coil head first. Zap time. That's where the tanks went. Mo going for a wide flank. His own base is completely exposed. He has held on to the push for now. He has killed 1 harvester at least. That's something. Little silver lining. So now he's on even footing. That could be a good flank though. If he can get his hands on the war and get his fangs into the war factory as well as the service depot, I think that would be a route back for him into this game. Ooh, Raiderdome is out though. That's gonna make it so tough. That's gonna be the first V2's appeared probably in a couple of seconds. Nope, still heavy tank production. So for now, this Raiderdome is nothing but a glorified tent. I love the design. There is an actual real-life radar building relatively close by, across the German-Bavarian border. It's actually a relatively famous one. I don't recall the name right now, but it looks really impressive. It looks eerily similar to this. Nasty catch here. Cav is pushing forward with 5 tanks, 6 tanks joining the fray. Mo's army is scrambling, so the flank is called off. Oh no. Oh no, single file formation as well, really. Oh, that's gonna be so bad for Mo. No front line, single file formation, no line of sight. He's wasting all his shots on the single heavy tank that didn't even take any considerable damage. This is probably the worst angle possible for him. Plus he had very few rockets as well. Man, this is going from bad to worse. The early game was so much in Mo's favor. He did everything right, but then he just decided to push. Yikes. At least get some decent deeps here. And he can reinforce still, but I feel it's too little too late. Tanks not connecting so far, and those rocks have kind of proved an obstacle. Okay. Mo's still not out of this yet. front lines have thinned, but there is just a breach has happened. How do you stop this now? You have no more recourse. Oh no. Mo, you were so close. And wave number 2 is going on to the expansion lines. Just a tank graveyard. This, my friends, is where tanks go to die. And Mo's third expansion hasn't even been claimed yet. Second expansion is in peril. Yeah, I'm not seeing a way back for him into this game, I think we're being honest. Plus, there is still so much mining to do for Cav. Mo is basically mined out. Jeez. He's trying with 4 tanks, just without an army, really. Oh, Mo is stalling so hard. Even though he's on 9 harvesters, his econ is actually really, really good. He just doesn't have an ore savings account. Chose to blow through his ore. Iron Curtain plus tier 2, tier 3 tech is already online for Cav. He's got all the trump cards. That's an ambitious as hell war truck. Yo, buddy. You want to call your union representative because that is not even close to okay. Yeah, this is going to be the death blow. MCV trying to scramble. Get the hell out of Dodge. But it's not looking good. GG is called. There was just no way for Mo back into this game. Fortunately, we are in RAGL, so there's going to be a round number 2. See you second.
Battle control terminated. Battle control initialized.
Welcome back, folks. And all I can say is, not like this. They have apparently found out Mo's weakness. His kryptonite. His one Achilles heel. It is maps without water. There is a small body of water, but that doesn't fit in a sub-pen inside, so I'm predicting a loss. I'm predicting a 2-0. This is, by the way, Military Mind, the map that I really like for its technicalities. And the spawns are bottom left, Cav as Germany, top right, Mo as Russia. Oh no. Yeah. At least you can fortify here with pillboxes. I really like this. Makes the flank so much harder. It is still completely fine to flank with tanks, but you're going to reveal your hand there. So I really think that's a cool idea. At the same rate, do not forget that pillboxes cost power, and that's 20 power per pillbox, so that's almost an extra power plant. There is an extra power plant next to the forward command, but that is easily snipeable if your opponent manages to just go through the middle, find an unprotected way into the World Derrick as well as the forward command, and then try and capture from there. Capture and or destroy. Cav's army movements centralizing in the middle towards the hospital, because where else? Where else would he go? Whereas Mo is just splitting up his forces again. That didn't work out for him in the game, in previous game. Nope. Denied. And the healing rate is already ticking up. Sick stuff. Righty. Mo is invested into 2 engineers. He also invested into capturing the pillboxes, so now he's got an extra engineer. Where's the spare engineer sitting around? Would be hilarious if he just hit it in a pillbox. Oh no, there he is. You know, double capture. Make it so. Okay, Mo apparently using Shift Q command and having a very confused engineer. Wow, this guy is basically going in dry, no lube, no scouting, no nothing. Okay. Occupation about to start. Armies coming out onto the map. These double cliffs look so cool. It looks a bit artificial because those tiles repeat. Looks a bit StarCrafty, I would say, in terms of the aesthetics. But Command & Conquer has always had its own very distinct style. Safeguarding his engineer. I've got to say, Mo's very prone in the early game to splitting up his forces. That has cost him a couple times, and dearly so. He's got an APC out. Is that going to be a ranger for Cav? Let's see. No, just another ore truck. Oh, there's the Ranger. Never mind. It's already out on the field. I'm underestimating the Allied timings. Allied build times obviously with the Ranger much shorter. 600 versus, I think, 850 from the APC. It is an expensive early game vehicle. Let's not kid ourselves, but it is also very useful. Does not scale as well into the mid game, but it still makes for a good troop transport for some surprise ambushes. I think I've commented on this a couple hundred casts back, but I still stand by my opinion that the balancing with the early game vehicles is really cool. It is a really cool dynamic. As allies, you've obviously got the Ranger, which is fast, agile, transports one engineer around, and it's just really a scout. An annoying scout that can occasionally snipe a rocket soldier, but if you can do that consistently, can provide insane value. So it does scale well. Then you've got the light tank, which does not scale for shit, because the light tank dies if you look at it funny. But the light tank, crucially, is a decent early game tanking vehicle. Mostly with the NG. So before the first rocket soldiers come out, it's got a timing window where it can basically kill, or tank at least, an entire platoon, because it's got heavy armor. So it is moderately useful, and it does scale into tier 3, interestingly enough, because it's a good counter to Soviet tier 3. Then, as Soviets, you've got access to the flak truck, which is relatively cheap, fast, not durable at all. It is pokey, but not bursty, so it just provides constant value and vision, and it scales crazily well into the mid game against allies, because it does hard counter all the allied tier 2 stuff. Blackhawks going down. And artilleries snag food. Oh, what about the Ranger? Is he gonna take the bait here? And then you've got the APC, which doesn't scale as well because as soon as a critical mass of rocket soldier shows up, he can just die instantly. It doesn't have the highest health pool, but it also retains its utility because it can just transport like an engineer, or maybe 5 rocket soldiers, maybe even a surprise mid-game grand drop if you know where opponent hasn't deployed any field defenses. So yeah, the choice of the early light vehicle is just so cool. And then as allies, you've got access to 2 or 3 light vehicle builds. As Soviets, that's not as viable, but I still really like the dynamic. And Admiral Mo is claiming a first small victory, just killing off an oil derrick for free. For free, I said. Mo! Send your troops home, please! No! That was not for free. That wasn't a freebie. Losing your first heavy tank to absolutely nothing, or basically to a pathing fuck up, that's already devastating. And the killer instinct from Kav is setting in, smelling blood in the water. He is a shark. Really good scouting information on his side as well. He's got the eco transfer unlocked. Ranger still being a pest until that very moment. I think he has scouted most of the base. Yep. He's seen the FCOM, he's seen the position of the war factory and the service depot. So he's gonna be completely fine. Let's go back into old player vision. Oh! Mo has taken this derrick and it hasn't been contested yet. A 2-tank flank just waiting for Mo's move out onto the map. Right now, it's not looking like it. Mo's moving south, and he's built a radar dome. I actually like that against that blob style. Oh, against the blob style of V2 would be so sick. As well as an airfield. So Mo's making all the right choices here. I like that. What about his economical situation? He's trading by 4k. May pose a problem in the future, but it does have the V2 rocket launcher unlocked. Plus he's gonna have the V2 ready in just a minute. Oh, also Kav has snagged away those oil derricks. Didn't even notice that. Building a second? No, it's just building one gap for scouting. Wow, that's gonna be annoying. Medium tank run by. Fortunately, this harvester has a little bit of health to work with, but not for too long. Oh? Yeah, he's sending him back. Chase is on, but this time around, they're not gonna connect onto the harvester unless they block. Nope. Units are not blocking. Cav is committing hard. Oh my goodness, he's gonna get it. Yep, absolutely. Man, that was unfortunate timing. Okay, plus the V2 tank is now also revealed. The tanks are still alive. You need to put something in their way. You need to strategically place rocket soldiers to prevent that from happening. That's a really good hiding spot. Your opponent's gonna take forever. Ah, it's going back for round 2. Not this time around, my friend. Still, he killed the harvester, so that is very worth it. Good hit. Good starting salvo here. Oh, and the Blackhawk is dead. This is a good time for Mo. He's gonna be able to get some sick shots in, leading them. This one was a bit of a whiff. What about this one? Good, good. Oh, send him back. No, Mo. You need to be more deliberate with the V2 micro. Oh, that was a whiff and a half. And the V2 is now getting pummeled. Oh no. Is Cav able to overrun yet again? He's got 4 more tanks in the back lines. The army is advancing, marching forward. Yeah, I don't get it. That was miss micro, Mr. Mo. That was miss micro. The V2's got overrun. You were too busy doing something else. Let's see, did he say anything? No. Okay, so let's check the spec lounge as well. Bobuk and Milkman. Milkman's also playing an RGL. Alright, that was a fun little quickie. 2 games in a row. So, what was the problem? It went kind of south for Mo when he overcommitted on both his pushes. Both those games, he tried something, didn't amount to anything, and at the end of the day, losing your first heavy tank is so punishing. You're always going to be behind in the tank count anyway. Obviously your tanks pack a harder punch, but you can't really flank anymore when your opponent takes out your first tanks. And you're behind in army mass as a result. You can't spare any tanks, because they're all needed on the front lines. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Let's hope the overall war situation in Ukraine is gonna resolve itself very swiftly. And I'll see you next time with some more RAGL content. 5 aces out.
Battle control terminated.